This is the game they were set to play last night, the second of two. If it keeps going this way, they will end up being swept by the Reds and handing them their 11th win of the season. And, hey, listen, I mean, whatever, man. You know, it's fun to break their balls, but maybe the Reds, maybe they're hiding something.
Maybe
we don't know.
Turning it on.
Turning it on.
They're going to go on some crazy win streak and make this season relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And they just needed a couple games against the Guardians to get it going.
Sure. Did you read about that dude that the Yankees cut because he was selling stuff? This guy, this is a third-round pick from a few years ago, a guy named Jake Sanford. The Yankees had a lot of hopes for this guy, but they found out that he was hounding teammates for autographed equipment to sell online. So he's pissing off his teammates, and then they found out that he was actually going in and grabbing things from their lockers, that he was essentially scamming his teammates. He's a 24-year-old dude. They pay him about $600,000 a year, the Yankees.
Who could get by on that?
Especially in New York.
Steal and sell things.
So they released him because he was stealing from his teammates and ripping fans off because fans were like, we paid the guy and he would never send us the stuff. What a weird way to like end your career.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm only making $600,000. I'm really trying to put a little bit of scratch together. And so I'm going to put all this stuff on OfferUp.
My guess, he's probably a gambler or something.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think the mob was going to break his legs?
Yeah, I think he's run through all his money. I mean, if you're making $600,000 a year and then you're still trying to scam to get by, you're into some sort of trouble.
He was going into his teammates' lockers and grabbing bats and gloves and other equipment to sell online. So, there you go. Congratulations to that guy. Alan, where is this? I live near Dayton. I already have my ticket to Mary's show at Wiley's tomorrow night. But if Dick gets on the mic, I will hang myself in the bathroom.
All right, then. I won't give him the mic.
You will have saved this person's life if you don't.
He might take it from me.
I say call his bluff.
Give Dick the mic and then just pull out a thing of rope.
And do that.
Hey.
Let's see if you'll really do it.
Update on the flip-off situation.
Wait, hold on.
Alan Cox Show! Exclusive news update!
Let's reset. Mary flipped off a guy that she kind of knew from high school now that she's back in Berea, and he didn't take it in the spirit in which it was given, the jaunty little spirit.
He messaged me and goes, who did you flip off? And I was like, you. I was like, did you not see me? I was like, maybe.
Oh, you have each other's cell numbers.
No, he messaged me on Instagram.
Oh.
I was like, did you not see me? Maybe that's why I thought you looked so confused.
He didn't even notice.
So he probably didn't even notice.
Oh,
Yeah.
not even a problem.
I was like, it was you, duh.
Alan Cox Show! Exclusive news update!
I like that. It's just a misunderstanding.
Makes more sense now.
It's a resolution we can all live with.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if he had messaged you and said, you son of a bitch, if you ever do that to me again,
well, because
I will poison your cat.
As I'm describing it, he's like, wait a minute, I knew her from high school. I live on her street now. Who was it? And I'm like, well, it was you. Clearly you didn't see it or thought I was someone else or something. But
Hey, remember when we were lab partners? Way back at, was it Berea High School?
Yes, it was.
Berea High School? Remember you didn't get into Baldwin Wallace? Isn't that Berea too?
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Hey, remember when we used to hang out at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds?
That's all three of you.
Right near where the Browns practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
That's all I know. I got tickets. Speaking of the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, I'll have tickets for you for the Berea National Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest presented by Yingling. It's next weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend, and there's free music all weekend. Kids under 12 are free, and free parking. So I'll have that for you closer to 5 o'clock. For people who are really into it. $10 admission all day if you weren't to win this. So you'll be out, rain or shine, by the way. So if you go, well, I like to only go to Shine events. There aren't a lot of those. You know, I'm going to Tears for Fears on Saturday night. Tears for Fears and Garbage are playing out at Blossom. And so I'm going out to that. I haven't been to Blossom yet this season. I guess it's the beginning of the concert season anyway. But obviously, I don't want it to rain. I want it to be a shine event, right?
Shine down.
Nope.
Maybe. No?
I mean, I'm to the age now where I do get pavilion tickets because if it's a rain or shine event, I want to have a roof over my head. I don't want to be out there on the lawn. I'm not looking to rough it. I want to see the show. I don't ask for much, but I do need a couple of perks in these situations.
I'm the same.
I need VIP parking. And I'll buy the pavilion tickets.
You don't like walking 2.5 miles to wait 90 minutes to get out of the parking
It depends
lot?
on what kind of mood I'm in. I mean, it's like if it's, you know, if my wife and I are going to see, she likes Jimmy Buffett, if we're going to something like that, everyone along that walk is partying and doing whatever. That's
Singing,
fine. Yeah,
drinking.
it's okay. It might not be my speed, but she loves it, and that's good enough for me. But if it's something else where I want to get in and get out, I want to get in and get out.
Okay. Tears for Fears, that's the...
Hey, remember when we used to go buy records at the shop in Berea?
People are texting you.
Yeah, they are. Of course they are.
You have no idea any of these things.
No. Hey, we met at Swings and Things. Isn't that up in Berea?
That's like... That might be Olmsted Falls. Or if it's on the
It's
Berea
over on
Olmsted Falls.
Bagley Road, isn't it?
Bagley and Stearns.
Hey,
yeah.
remember we used to hang out at Bagley and Stern?
It's like he's from Berea.
Yeah.
Almost like he knows it.
That's right. I went to high school with you. I don't remember you at all. How would I remember you? Oh, we went to the Giant Eagle.
Good one. Good one.
Ellen was married 12, flipping people off. She thought she knew the guy.
I
mean, you
know
do know the
and
guy.
he didn't even see it. That's why
Yeah.
he was confused. I thought it was... He didn't message me back yet. But, So that makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I think flicking people off is funny when they're your friends. Like, F you, man.
Hey, man. I was never a flip you off kind of guy.
Really?
Seems aggressive.
But it's
Because it
silly.
means F you.
But in like a...
Go fund yourself. Oh. Right?
So maybe you flip someone off right now.
Die with $1,000, man. You can go fund yourself. It's $1,000 right now. Listen closely. Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WORK at WMMS.com. That's WORK. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Anytime you want to leave us messages, you can do it telephonically. The after hours line is available to you. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey, I caught your show recently. You mentioned about the late bloomers comment. I think you guys have no clue what a late bloomer is. Definitely not 19 years old. That's 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. That's what a late bloomer is. I'm from the Doylestown area. There's nothing much going on at this point. I tried everything I could trying to meet women left and right. I'm tired of getting ghosted, ridiculed.
Aww.
And the point now, I just feel a bit stumped.
No, I mentioned that I was a late bloomer because I had sex at 17. Listen, it's relative to your peer group, and my peer group was having sex way before 17. By the way, 30s, 40s, 50s, no, that is not late bloomer. The bloom is off the rose, right? Late blooming implies you were at the beginning of your sexual awakening. If you haven't had sex by the time you're 30, 40, the ship has sailed. It's not going to happen for you. You're not a late bloomer. I'm talking high school, beginning of college, maybe end of college. I knew somebody when we first moved to Cleveland who was a virgin, and she was 39 years old. I don't know if she's ever had sex. I haven't seen her in quite some time. But no, you are not that's not the definition of a late bloomer. It's over for you if you're in your 30s and 40s. If you're in Doylestown and you say, I've tried everything, you haven't moved out of Doylestown.
Yeah,
That's
that would
trying
be
everything. I would get the
good-
hell out of Doylestown.
In my
go about
prime, I don't know if it was normal or if I was just like,
He's 29 and out of his prime.
Are you? I was going to say, are you suggesting that you're
I'm definitely-
after your prime? You're past your prime?
I don't screw nearly as many people as I used to.
So you're talking quantity, not quality.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Is
Okay.
I don't know if it was normal, like, oh, this is you're having sex with the right amount of people for your age at this time in your life versus you're a sex addict. Because I'm talking, I was doing at my worst, I was doing probably 2 to 3 people a day. In college, yeah, but it wasn't all.
Well, because he had a lot of free time.
It wasn't just.
Yeah, I wasn't doing
He's not going to be
homework.
late for
Wasn't
oceans
studying.
class. Yeah, he was.
It wasn't all sex, but it was sexual acts, and I could pull.
Okay.
At the most, I would do like maybe 3 or 4 people a day.
2 to 3
So it wasn't
people
all
a
the time.
day. How many days in a row? Was that 2 to 3 people a day, 5 days a week?
No, that was like weekend started on Thursday, so I would have a hookup Thursday night. They'll probably stay over in the morning, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were just a all-out screw fest, and that would be. So I would have threesomes and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it would be like we all stay over in my room and stuff would go down.
I had like 4 different people in a week once, and I thought that was crazy. And Poundcake's like, oh yeah, I was doing
That's a Thursday.
dozen, yeah.
well, it
over
was
a weekend.
It was summer, like because
He was trying to get a good buzz going on campus.
I didn't lose. I lost both of my virginities, my front and back, my freshman year.
Yeah.
When I was 19. And after that, it just seemed something. I was like, oh, something. A fire's a burning in me. So my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior year, my super senior year, those 4 years, I put up all of my numbers.
That's why he was a super senior, because he had people still on the schedule and he wasn't able to get it all in 4 years.
So I went from having 2 people my freshman year to having like 200 people by the end I graduated.
Imagine you're the person who didn't get to him in time to lose his front virginity, and you have to convince him to try to lose his back virginity to you.
Well, my back virginity.
You know what, though? In your slight defense, I had my high school sweetheart up until I was like 20. We were together. And then when we broke up.
good for you.
When we broke up in a summer, I put up numbers.
Yeah.
I went from 1 to like 60.
Yeah, but you're
3
like
months.
free again.
And
It's
I,
like
I was like freshly 2021.
Right.
I was working in a bar.
And you got to understand, when everyone wants to touch my vagina. When I was in high school, all my friends talked about having sex. I'm like, bro, there's no way you have like more sexual partners than you do birthdays. I knew they were lying, but it was just the fact that they could be like overt about, you know, their escapades versus I had to keep mine in. So I lost my mind when I went to college. I'm like,
you were
no,
trying to make up for lost time.
I was making up for lost time. And
So,
you have a
so,
boyfriend?
so is it safe to assume that you were not being, you certainly weren't being choosy? Because even on campus, if you're putting up those kind of numbers, you're really not saying no.
There were
Anybody can do that if they don't say no.
Yes, but I could choose. I had a good pool to choose from. These were all hot young college guys. But even the slump busters, I'm like, it's still sex. It's just like pizza.
Imagine you're
It's still
somebody.
pizza.
Imagine you're the person he did say no to. Here's a guy
feel like
who's
a
like
real
he's
piece of garbage.
not saying no to anybody,
I
12 a
did.
week.
and he goes,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What would you say your number is, Poundcake?
Oh God, I have no idea. I could not tell you.
More than 500?
No, less than 500. I will say that. Less than 500.
He's like Gene Simmons over here.
Ooh, it feels so good. I'd say in the realm of under 500, but over probably about 200. Ooh, it feels so good.
Fortunately, he'll hit 205 in the next 15 years. So
And again, like if they had boyfriends, I was like, oh, that's fine. I do couples. like so. And
Oh, that's the thing, too. You
Yeah.
can knock out multiple at the same time.
So I had my front and my back at the same time. So it was.
So was word getting around that you were the guy that if somebody wanted to have sex, they just
no, because
Nature of the knock.
yeah.
well, those were straight guys. Those were the LGBTQ. Those were the Q of the LGBTQ. But no, I had competition. Everyone was a slut in college. It's like
Still, I'm curious why these guys weren't worried that word was going to get out.
no one cared. We were
Nobody
gay.
cared, huh? No. You're talking about straight guys.
Oh, the straight guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they trusted me for whatever reason. I look like a guy that can keep some secrets to them.
I wonder why.
Because they're like, listen, I'm beautiful, I'm white, I'm ripped. You're lucky to be with me. That's what they thought in their mind. Meanwhile, I'm like,
I thought they were doing you a favor.
they thought I was doing my because they knew I would probably want to do it again.
So were you at the student health service twice a month?
no, I'd never been burned.
Yeah, but how
How often were you getting tested? He's trying to tell you he wasn't getting tested. What he's trying to tell you.
I would get tested.
He's trying to dance around the fact that he was taking no precautions whatsoever.
I wore condoms, but for the mouth stuff, when I would go home for Christmas break or summer break, I would be like, okay, let me just pop in here. Let me see.
They can
I would be
test
scared.
You for mouth stuff?
For herpes?
I mean, okay, but I feel like that would be something that once you have like an outbreak, you go get tested, or they can go swab your mouth with no.
I would get it, but I was getting tested for HIV, and then they were like, while you're at it, do you want to get like a full screen? I'd be like, yeah. And this was before I even knew about PrEP.
Everyone that practices sodomy from the day of this message will get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn.
A friend of mine, that I worked with at the radio station, she was the one to tell me, she was like, she said, you F mad people, bro. And I was like, oh, thank you. I took it as a compliment. And
because they were mad after you had sex with them?
No. But she was just like, are you clean? I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? Then I took it as an insult. She's like,
you didn't understand what that meant?
No.
She said, are you clean? Hey, you're having, right.
Yeah,
12 people a day, and you didn't understand what "are you clean" means.
It wasn't.
Please do munch butts and celebrate Halloween.
There was a pool, and everyone was essentially. She was telling me because she knew some other gay guys that slept with the same gay guys that I slept with, and so essentially we're all in one big pool and getting passed around. So she's like, "I know so and so has this. You should go get tested." And then I was like, "Ooh, she got me scared," and I was like, "All right." So then after that, I got tested.
It's just good self-care in college to make sure that you're taking care of business.
Yeah.
Why did somebody else have to bring that to your attention?
Because I thought I was doing the right thing by wearing condoms. I wore condoms every time. The only time I didn't was like mouth stuff.
Alan, I also live in Doylestown. That dude is going to have to leave the village limits if he wants any girls that aren't wearing camo and Crocs.
I think he'll take anyone at this point.
Yeah.
I've never been to Doylestown, but I'll take your word for it. I know it's a small town.
It's funny to think that I put up some good numbers. I'm like around 50, and I'm probably the lowest on the show.
Yeah. Well,
but we went to college though. We
That's true too. You didn't have the same college experience that we
with
did.
a bunch of young people. Everyone's horned up. Everyone gets drunk. Everyone wants to party. And me, I had never experienced anything like that before. There were very few.
Bill's hatred of paperwork worked against him.
Lowered his number. Well,
That's
or maybe it worked for
but
him.
even if
Maybe
I went to
it worked for
college,
him.
I wasn't probably going to
You would have at least a couple extra.
a couple extra, but
everyone
not 60 or not 12 a week like Poundcake.
Dudes are different though.
had lunch at Polish Village? Hey, that one time?
Because
Remember we had those crawlers at Dick's Bakery?
from the time I actually had sex in the Philippines to the next time I had sex was almost 2 years.
That'd be a great euphemism, too. Yeah. I like to have sex in the Philippines.
Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah!
Is that like Greek?
I had
Greeks don't want no freaks.
2 significant hoe phases. After my high school sweetheart and I broke up, there was like 2 years of just doing whatever I wanted. And then I got with who was now my ex-fiance. We were together for like 3 or 4 years. I'm learning how to massage the logs. Yes, that happened in 2017. So then from 2017 until I'm with my current boyfriend, which was 2020, so the old sit and spit. Couple more years.
Yeah, that's right.
3-way, 4-way, 5-way. There's a ton of different ways you can get it.
Oh, boy. Remember I said Dick's Bakery? Whatever the hell. I don't know. Okay, I got a break. If you want to text for something, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com if you want to watch. And